Well, happy Saturday, August 5th, 2023. It's been a hot second since we streamed, and my camera's having some issues this morning. It was on for about 3 minutes, decided it was going to shut off. Somebody in the comments, let me know if you can hear me. And if this is your first time here, I'm Willie Howe. We talk about all kinds of things technology here. If you need IT consulting, head on over to williehowe.com. There's a contact form there. Fill that out, and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. And I'm looking over to the chat to make sure everybody can hear me. OBS says I've got audio, but you know how that goes. Morning, Bob. E-Gem, good morning. Dave, John, good morning, everyone. So, Jeremy, TVJ, loud and clear. Hopefully everybody got notifications this morning. Morning, Peter. Yeah, so, hey, Tony's at the gym. After dark, 2:30, good morning, good morning. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up. So it's been since March since we've streamed on a Saturday. It has definitely been a minute. This year has been crazy. Morning, Gordon. I can't believe that it's August 2023. I don't know about all you, but like the last 3 years are like a big smudge. RTFM, good morning. Gordon, good morning. All right, so I know that I saw that Tony did a short on the new Grandstream router, new Grandstream switches. I'm going to show you. I'm working on my video for this, but this is one of the new Grandstream routers, which is why the live stream says that they're sponsored content. Of course, they're not sponsoring it, but even when they send us free gear, according to the FTC, we have to put that in there. So this one is the GWN 7001. There's the 7002 and the 7003. If you're not signed up for the Grandstream newsletter, I recommend that you do that. And the reason that you do that is because they are going to release some news about the larger series of routers. They've asked me to not say anything publicly until they have a chance to get out, but and get ahead of it. But I will tell you that any features that may be missing in here will definitely be in the next line of routers. That's really all I can say. I will tell you that we have submitted several requests for features for this. So MFA for OpenVPN users. So hopefully that's going to get here. WireGuard is coming to this box. And when you see the interface on this and the way that you can do a lot of things, this router, the MSRP on this is $55. You can't even believe that they can sell a device like this for $55. So if you don't need dynamic routing protocols, which may or may not be coming in a larger line of routers, you know, if you're looking for edge router replacements and you're not using dynamic routing, I think the Grandstream router, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with the Grandstream routers. I was so impressed. In fact, the night that I got this, I opened the box up, I hooked it up, and I had to do a Zoom with a couple people just to let them see the interface. Grandstream is really going to be coming out swinging with the new routers. They've got layer 3 switches, like legit layer 3 switches coming. They've got an aggregation switch that's going to be coming out. So they are definitely hitting the rest of that market hard and heavy. So yeah, so look for my intro video on this coming week. Really excited about that. All right, back to the comments. Good morning, admin engineer. Gregory says, wow, it's been months since I've been able to attend in real time. Glad to be here. Well, I'm glad you're here, Gregory, and it has been months since I've had a live stream. Dave says, I've not got mine yet. NTS does not have them in stock yet. So the distributor that Dave is talking about is NTS. And they always, for some reason, at least list all the new Grandstream products, whether they're actually available or not. And at one point when we were waiting for the switches, I had reached out because it was essentially a leak. I mean, nobody was supposed to be saying anything, and here NTS is, and they've got all this information. They ended up temporarily removing it. But what I'm really excited about is being able to take the Grandstream switches, pair them with a Grandstream router and a Grandstream AP, a Grandstream router that doesn't have a built-in AP. Now, I'm glad that they have that for smaller, smaller deployments. But this plus a Grandstream access point, full stack Grandstream. This is really what we've been waiting for. And the old GWN 7000, it was a valiant attempt, and that thing, because of the chipset that it was limited, right? So they had to rethink how they were going to do their routers. And so if you've got the GWN 7000 and it's still working, I wouldn't throw it out yet. But I would definitely be looking at a migration plan, probably to a newer router. And this is, like I said, this is the GWN 7001. One of the really cool things is it's got 6 Ethernet ports. 5 of these can be WAN ports. And you can do load balancing, failover, all of that. And it's all in the UI. You don't have to know any command line for that. The way that they're doing application tagging, blocking, quality of service. This thing has full quality of service capabilities. So I've been running, I did some speed tests through this, and I was getting my full internet speed at the time. My internet, I was getting about 700 megabits down, and I was getting full speeds through this. It takes a little while. Like, I have to have like specific times of the day before I can hit 1 gig here because of all the other people that are on the service. So yeah, watch for this. I can't wait to get this out in front of you. Morning, Jacob Johnson. After Dark 230 says it'll be interesting to see how much that router can take. I think for a small office, home office, medium-sized office. So I'm waiting for the 7003, which is rack mountable. They didn't have any that they could send me at the time. So Irfan says, excited for the new Grandstream range. I already have a few of the new switches and routers in stock for resale. That's fantastic. And Secret, good morning. So go ahead and post your comments, questions, concerns over in the chat, and we'll see if we can get those addressed and taken care of. I don't know if everybody has been watching. I don't know if you follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know if you follow Ubiquiti, but I don't know if anybody has seen. They spent they're splashing some marketing money around, and they got some actors. And so when they released the site-to-site magic, which I'm going to do a video on, which is their SD-WAN. Basically, it's a VPN, right? An automatic VPN. It'll work through CGNAT as long as one of the sides has a public IP address. It will work through DoubleNAT, all that good stuff. But they did a commercial, and they pulled in some famous actors to do that commercial. It was kind of funny. And then it was either yesterday or Thursday, they did a commercial for Unify Protect. And I thought it was a subtle jab at Vercata. It wasn't so, other people didn't think it was so subtle. Like it was a Unify Protect video. And when they zoom in on the screen for the cameras that the fella's watching, it's got Vercata right there. And then they talk about everything that's wrong about Vercata. But Admin Engineer says, have you seen the new Perfect Tech Island SB or home firewall? It's pretty amazing for what it does, built from the ground up. Wondering if you've got to play with it. No, I have not seen that. I have not seen that at all. I'll have to check that out. You can, if you want to email me a link to that, I'll definitely take a look at it. Bob says, the UI videos are hilarious. The scooter's license plate is cheeky. I didn't see that. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull up. I don't know if we're going to get in trouble for putting other people's YouTube videos on, but let me find Ubiquiti Networks. Ubiquiti. Let's see here. All right, so I'm not going to be able to know whether you see this or not, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch it over, and we're going to look. But so here is the Ubiquiti YouTube channel, and here is the video for This Is Protect. So let's see. Oh, that was funny. Did you see that? So a Reolink video, a Reolink ad started playing on top of the Unify Protect
hey,
commercial.
man,
That's hilarious. So we're gonna see if you have watched
Favorite
Silicon Valley, you'll recognize this character here. So you can see right here. Here it says Vercata, right? And Vercata is cloud only with their cameras.
Let me.
And so
They pay me to record their videos. Just a second. Alexa, channel 5.
every other on-prem,
by the way,
security camera company is like trying to figure out what Vercata's doing. And the thing about Vercata
remote viewing experience
is if you miss a payment, like if you don't pay the yearly fee, your camera stops working.
Strictly under admin
and
because the storage is local,
another thing here in the state of Illinois,
too. I mean,
they have you can enable Oh my god. Oh, Bob, that is hilarious. They're talking about the camera, right? And that is cheeky. That is hilarious.
Yeah, well, check this out.
I never noticed that.
I
never noticed that in the video until now. This was always what I was talking about. But Vercata in Illinois, you can turn on facial recognition. Google has it, so if you buy a Google Nest Cam, you cannot use the facial recognition application in Illinois, because to use biometrics to identify people and to do different things with those people in the state of Illinois, you have to have explicit permission, which is why all of these social media companies are being sued, and they're having to write these checks to all the people. So, all right, so John Wills has a mesh question. If I deploy a Unify AC Mesh Pro as a mesh, can I use a camera off of the PoE port? So I just tried this. So I even used a PoE injector to the AP, and I could not get the AP to pass through the power to the camera for some reason. Now, maybe I have an older model that doesn't allow it. I was thinking that we had PoE pass-through for those, but maybe we don't. So, it's somebody tell me in the comments, does anybody have the PoE pass-through working on an AC Mesh Pro? Somebody help John out here, because I thought it was supposed to work. Here, you know what we can do? We can bring up the product sheet for that. Let's go to Wi-Fi, outdoor. Okay, here's the AC Mesh Professional. Let's see, build features. So it just says Gigabit RJ45 port here. Let's see. Ethernet, Bluetooth. I thought you could pass through power, but I couldn't get it to work. And I didn't know if I just have a version of the hardware that doesn't support it, or does it support it. Somebody let us know if you've got it working. But you can definitely see PoE in here on the primary port. So it's a definitely a great question. Can somebody answer that? Let's see. Alonzo, good morning. So admin engineer says no, it does not pass through PoE. Morning, Ryan. Admin says, I have an AC Mesh Wi-Fi 6 Pro. Well, that's different than the Pro we were looking at. Prav, good morning. Hey, long time no see. What's your experience on using the UISP router? Just wish that there was a small form factor UDM for industrial use cases. Hence, I was looking at the UISP router. So I have worked on a couple. I have one. It is definitely the new UISP gear. They are definitely trying to make it more Unify-like, if that makes any sense, since Unify was really that, where you can't configure everything on the device. But, the clients that I have that are using it, that I've logged in, we've been able to do all of the dynamic routing and everything right through UISP, so it's worked for their use case. But let's see here. Admin says, with a pass-through, hoping I could pass through. Admin says, it did not work for me unless you have to specifically turn it on under the controller, and I couldn't find it. Yeah, and I couldn't either, and I did look in the software to see if that pass-through was an option in the software, and I missed it. John says, thanks, I need a remote camera solution, but it does have power at the location. Yeah, so you could do that. You could do the mesh. Cambium has a line of point to multi-point products that are specifically meant for surveillance backhaul, so you could also check that out. After Dark says, in terms of basic features, it's fine. OSPF and BGP, forget that. Yeah, so I think After Dark, were you talking about the UISP router? But I'm super excited about the Grandstream routers. I hope everybody else is too. And man, the features that have been coming to the UCM 6300 series PBXs, I've got to do a whole new video on that. Grandstream themselves has been doing the technical training and certification. They've been at one of the distributor locations doing that. So as soon as they're done doing that, I'm going to do my 3-day training. I don't want to step on their toes. They are doing the certifications like in one day, and I don't know how I feel about that. All I'll say is I don't want to step on their toes. So anyone who's taken the class knows that there's a lot of information to process there. So Ryan Sharp says, runs out of sheetrock, looks at Dreamwall. Yeah, I don't have a Dreamwall. I can't justify buying a Dreamwall for $1,000, but yeah, if you look at some of the other videos, that thing is big. But you run all your cabling there. I mean, you don't have to have multiple pieces of equipment shoved into a rack. Good morning, Tech for Fun, Joe. Good morning. Glad to see you around. So that's kind of my next thing. I know I can't tell you how excited I am. And I've got the 7002. You saw I did a video on the unmanaged switches. So they do have that 5-port. They got a 5 and 8, 16, a 24, and I think a 48. They also have multi-gig switches. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't have any of the multi-gig switches, but everybody is crazy over multi-gig Ethernet. And I get it, right? Because you get better throughput without having to replace all your cabling. After Dark says, I have one Dreamwall installed. Was a perfect fit for the client, but man, is it big. Yeah, and it weighs like quite a bit, right? Like 10, 15, 20 pounds, something like that. Yeah, so I was going to mow the grass this morning, but we've gotten well over an inch of rain. I don't know what time it started, but Dave says, I took the GWN training in Boston a couple of months ago, and they crammed a lot into one day. So, Dave, based on that, would you think that the way that I spaced it out over 2.5 days was better, or do you prefer the one-day format? Because I think what I want to do is I want to do a 4 days of training. Right, and we'll do 2 days of network and then the exam, and then we'll do in a day, an entire day, maybe a day and a half of network, and then the exam. That's kind of what I was thinking. Dave, you have to give me your feedback on that. And was the fellow that did the training on that, Dave, was that the actual the Grandstream technical trainer that's been doing it with Streakwave? And Dave says, I cannot imagine doing the UCM training in a single day. Yeah, it looks like they're banging it out in one day. So, but I'm going to stay the course. But like I said, I don't want to step on their toes. So once their last training in August is done, then that's when my training, I will schedule that. Bob says, any recommendations for a 2.5 gig managed PoE switch? I have the UI6 Enterprise AP, but the 8-port 2.5. Yeah, you could check out the TP-Link switch. They've got a 2.5 gig switch, and it works pretty well. Jacob, I'm glad it's raining. Been paving the Kewanee Hospital. We needed a couple-day break. Yeah, it's apparently supposed to rain in our neck of the woods for the next couple weeks. We're supposed to get quite a bit of rain. So, well, I want to thank you all for spending some time with me here this morning. I guess the main takeaway is watch for these new Grandstream routers. Ryan Sharp asks, what's this black thing on the wall next to the sign? The sign that never stays as horizontal as it should. So if you haven't seen this is the new Netool. I've got some videos filmed for this, and right about the time I was getting ready to release everything, then Linus's guy released it. They crashed the Netool. They crashed the Netool website to order, and so I'm like, oh, okay. So I haven't posted the videos or anything because, how do you compete with that? So my videos are actually more technical, more how to use it, things like that. Linus's guy did a great advertisement, and I just haven't got back around to posting the videos yet. So, but I thought that was kind of cool to hang that back there. So let's see what else. Speaking of, my presidential phone. Oh, you want to know why it's moving? Because it's hooked on my chair. There. Now it should be better now. Yeah, so Netool, if you don't know what a Netool is, Netool is a device that you can plug in, and it's got an app that runs on your phone, your PC, and it pulls all the switch information. You can also do programming with this, right? So if I'm going to go out and I've got 50 switches that I need to deploy, I can script configurations with this, go out, plug this thing into a switch, go to the app, tell it to configure the switch, and it'll do it. And then I just pull it out and I go to the next switch. So I've been a Netool user since their first iteration. I have a pretty good relationship with Nathan over there. That's the CEO. I did some of their Australia webinar stuff for them. And this is the new version of this. I know some people were having some issues with version 1 of the Netool. This is like the latest, greatest incantation, and it is lightning fast, super fast. New processor in here, USB-C data, USB-C charging. The new version of this is fantastic. Go check out the Linus Tech Tips video on that, because they do give you some more. They don't like go into all the nuts and bolts, but he shows some things and shows the overview. So as a great video, and Nathan emailed me. He's like, they crashed our shop, so I hope they made $10 million that day. After Dark 230 says, Willie, your classes will be in September and October. More than likely the October time frame. EGM says, our recent construction boom here in Jamaica has reinvigorated the debate on the decline in the trades over the last few decades. Are you experiencing this in the States as well? So, that thing that happened for a couple of years, it's got all kinds of things screwed up. I mean, not really screwed up, but it's made people rethink all kinds of things. And yeah, we've got a shortage. We've got a shortage in the trades here for sure. Ryan asks, what are you learning people in October? We're going to do Grandstream Certified Networking Professional and Grandstream Unified Communication Professional training. It'll be hands-on, in-person class where you will go through the training with me, then you take an exam, and if you pass, you become certified. If you don't pass, then you're not certified, and you just get to hang out with us for a couple of days. I think we had a pretty good time. So that's what we're going to be doing. But yeah, no, there's all kinds of shortages, all kinds, people are, demanding to be taken seriously, paid for their worth, things that I agree with totally across the board. So I've never seen such a national media campaign by super large countries to try to get rid of work from home. Work from home is here to stay, and these companies are going to have to grapple with it. And they don't. They're trying to figure out. I mean, these companies have billions of dollars worth of real estate, and nobody wants to work in them, right? And so we found out over the last couple of years that a lot of jobs can be done remotely and with occasional on-site. Even a small company, if you're running Synology and Grandstream or Unify, even if you can run a business out of somebody's home. You could run a small business if you had a good internet connection and battery backup. You could totally run a remote company from your home. People had been doing it pre the last few years, but now you can totally have all this equipment. You don't need official office buildings and things like that. And that realignment of the workforce, I think, is going to take a couple of years. The Fed here just bumped the interest rate another 0.25%. We'll see what happens. People are still spending money like crazy, so we'll see what happens. Good morning, Johan from the Netherlands. Bob says, I would not want to be a big commercial property owner right now. We're back to the vacancy rate of the 80s, I've heard. Yeah, I don't know the numbers, but. And Aztec 2 says, what is NTS? Is that a supplier? Yeah, NTS is a supplier. They're a reseller in Boston. They're in the hometown of Grandstream, and their prices are like the most competitive prices out there a lot of times. But I like the folks over at Streakwave, Microcom, if you need stuff and you can't get it anywhere else. But NTS, I had kind of seen them, and Dave kind of opened my eyes to them at the training last year. So yeah, you can go check them out. And if you want to leak about what is being released by Grandstream, NTS often has the products listed on their website before anybody else. But all right, so thank you for spending a little time with me here this Saturday morning, August 5th, 2023. It is time to sign off. If you need IT consulting, head on over to Willie Howe, fill that form out. And the other thing is if you're not signed up for our newsletter, make sure over at williehowe.com that you get signed up for the newsletter. There's going to be things coming out, training schedules, all kinds of stuff that you should be aware of. If for some reason this platform goes bonkers, then we can still reach out to you on the mailing list, right? So hit that like button. The CCNA can be difficult for sure. Johan, before we sign off, pfSense, Unified Gateway, or USG, depending on what you're looking at. I've always been an advocate for the Dream Machine since they came out. A lot of other people kind of question it, but they're in a really good spot now. So I am going to sign off. I want to thank you for being here. Excuse me. Do something awesome today. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.